Thank you, kids. Always appreciate when you carve out some of your time to spend it with us here on the program, where we like our flying a little turbulent, our women a little crazy, our politics a little messy. In the words of boxing legend Mills Lane, let's get it on here on the Jerry Doyle Show. That's me, JD. Marcelo working the dials, Brad producing the program. Emails at the website, jerrydoyle.com. Poll question up there for you today. This is part of the C Show. The show today's got some stuff that are a little cool, a little creepy, a little cutting edge, a little confusing, and some downright childish. But this is in kind of the cool/creepy part of the program. Here we go. Auto insurers promising discounts of 10 to 50% are rolling out what they call pay-per-view policies, where a device installed in your car tracks your speed, your distance, time, acceleration, braking, and a host of other data. So what do you say to that? Nobody says already a customer, loving it. 2% say I was a customer and hated it. 12% say you'll sign up when it's available. And 85% say not a chance, not for any discount. We'll take your answer there at the website or here at 800-876-4123 on the program, where intellectual anarchy is encouraged and nurtured for now.
Like that idea?
10 to 50% savings?
Yeah, I get 30% savings. I have a device.
It's Santorum, and we know on the program Santorum is code for BS. Because it's creeping incrementalism, and that's the part that creeps me out. It's kind of cool that technology could reward you in a certain way, but I just don't trust that this is going to end well for people who have an ability to peer into every nook and cranny of my life. You have one of these tracking devices on your one of your automobiles there, Marcelo?
Yep.
And that doesn't wig you out?
Nope.
You know, it's funny because I can't see the scars from your lobotomy. That's pretty cool. So I don't know who did the procedure, but there's nothing that I can see on the Skype.
$50 a month.
Not worth it.
It is.
Not worth it. Is anybody out there in agreement with me that Marcelo is completely lost?
Just wait till you
left in his gray matter. Exactly. When you get a ticket in the mail because you were speeding, because they know the time distance calculation couldn't have had you go from point A to point B in the allotted speed limit, even giving you the 10% that most, I guess, cops try to give, where if the speed limit's 70, they'll give you 76 or 77. But that's what I see coming, is that, why do they need to know how fast I accelerated? If the speed limit's 55, and I want to go from 0 to 55 in, like, one of my cars goes 0 to 60 in 4.2 seconds, right? So what if I want to go 0 to, let's say the speed limit's 60. What if I want to go from 0 to 60 in 4.2 seconds? They're going to penalize me for that because that's going to be perceived as some type of reckless driving.
Yep.
And what if I want to check out my 16-inch double-vented disc brakes and see how fast I could go from 60 to 0? I know the answer. The quickest way to go from 60 to 0, hit a tree. It's amazing how fast you can stop. But, I mean, if I want to figure out what the braking capability of my car is in dry conditions, wet conditions, rainy conditions, snow conditions, then I want to figure that out. The insurance company is going to say, you sped up to 60 and you decelerated too quickly. Yep. You went around the turn with a side G-force that exceeds what we would think would be reasonable. You exceeded the time-distance continuum that we allow. And there's just too many places where they're going to get in and just say, because of that, because of your, quote, aggressive driving, and we know we're trying to neuter everybody in this country, that's somehow they're going to say, sorry, you don't qualify for the discount. What's that one commercial with Flo, the chick, was it Progressive,
yeah.
Right? Progressive. They're the ones that are kind of leading the cause here, but they're not the only ones that are doing it. Progressive is in on it. State Farm, Mutual Automobile Insurance is in on it with the InDrive program and the I call it the pay-as-you-go program, but this is pay-per-view. Do you really want people viewing what it is you do every day? And what is it? As soon as isn't kind of figuring out what the boundaries are part of the fun of driving? Like, okay, I got it. There's speed limits, and they're there for a reason. And when you're in congested areas and you're around other people and you're in inner city areas or you're on very trafficked, commuter routes, probably not best to be doing a scene, out of the Fast and the Furious. But you're in the middle of Montana, or you're in the middle of Texas, or you're going in the Panhandle in Florida where there's no shoulders, which means there's no cops on the side of the road because they built it because of the swamps. I'm just saying there's a possibility that you might exceed the speed limit. One of my cross-country trips was 41 hours from Los Angeles to Palm Beach. 41 hours. 37 driving, 4 hours sleeping, an hour at a time in a rest area in San Antone. Now, the total time of driving, 37 hours. 2,815 miles. Average speed was slightly over 77 miles an hour. That's not the average speed across the country. But, and I shouldn't say this because this is like someone pointing out it's 3-2, 2 outs, bottom of the ninth, and he's pitching a perfect game. Let me knock on wood here in anticipation. I'm knocking on wood as much as I possibly can, officer. I haven't had a speeding ticket, a moving violation, nothing. I mean, I don't know the last time I got one, and now I know I just completely pooched myself. But at least I'm in control of my own destiny. I just think this whole technology movement, the red light cameras, these in-dash ways that they could monitor, and what's it going to go to next? So that you go to the dealership after you buy a car, you plug in, the computer diagnostics say, oh, you exceeded the RPM, bandwidth, whatever, blah, blah, blah. So we're going to void your warranty?
GPSs are next.
The what's next?
The GPS device, so that they could tax you by the mile. That's next.
Exactly. That's what it's all going to go to. This isn't just pay as what they call pay-per-view. This is going to be pay when you drive. Oh, so if you want to drive between 4 o'clock in the morning and 7 o'clock in the morning, that's cheaper than 7 and 10 o'clock in the morning. If you want to drive between 2 and 5, but not 5 and 8, but drive from 8 to 11, oh, well, then it's cheaper then. And then they're going to start to auto-toll you, where you just drive through. I know the Easy Pass and all that stuff is kind of cool, except in a rental because they charge you that surcharge and it's really not worth it. But how about this? If we're going to go on pay-per-view, and it should be the same thing with homeowners insurance and health insurance and automobile insurance and just about every other type of insurance that's out there, we shouldn't be starting at the levels we're at. See, the assumption here in what they charge based upon what the actuaries decide is that statistically, we'd have to say that based upon your age and the kind of car that you drive and the zip code that you live in and whether you garage it in the day or the night, blah, 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 that the likelihood that you're going to be involved in an accident or an incident and the frequency thereof leads us to give you this premium of whatever it is. Say it's $1,000 a year or $1,000 every. I wish it was $1,000. $1,000 every 6 months. My insurance is $325 a month. So why is it that high? Shouldn't the assumption be that you start at a very low premium and then you would get taxed or feed or reviewed or somehow penalized if you become a bad driver, or if you're more than a one-off bad driver, like you get multiple Deweys, which is just selfish and stupid. But we should be having fees added later when we've proven that we're a danger or that we're reckless or that we're just somewhat manly, or we want to just drive a little like faster. Then we just go, okay, that was kind of stupid. I was doing 161 in a 70. Not that I was the passenger. But anyway, but that's the way it should work. The assumption should be innocent until proven guilty, responsible driver until proving not, and living within the constraints of what it is that we're doing at the time. But all I see this is as a way to start people with discounts. Hey, you interested in having this device in your car? Well, I don't know. Well, how much can I save? 50%. Half? Yeah, half. And then it becomes 40%. Why? Because one time you went too fast. And then it becomes 30% because you were going too fast on a rainy day. And then it becomes 20% because point A to point B was exceeded by a certain percentage of the speed limit. And then it becomes 10%, and all of a sudden it becomes nothing. And then what do we end up with? We end up with insurance rates that are right at where they are today, with tons of information going to Big Brother, and Big Brother finding a way to dig further and further into our pockets, and thus completely undoing the reasons that we would give them to invade our privacy under the guise of saving.
The Jerry Doyle Show.
Still think it's a good idea.
And now I will smoke some crack and get in my car on this short commercial break. I will be right back. Blade
This
Runner.
is the Jerry Doyle Show.